Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Crypto Waffle episode 24. It is Monday, the 21st of April, 2025, and today's topics are the ZK Sync hack. We break down the 5 mil plus exploit shaking layer 2s. Topic 2 is Bitcoin above 87K. Is the bull market officially back? And then topic 3, macro outlook, some key takeaways from Real Vision's latest MIT report. So kicking it off with a hack, Crypto C, fill us in what's happened.
Right, I'm gonna share my screen because I've got a really good. Which one is it? This one. I've got a really good summary from these guys at Hash.
2 minutes and I'll leave it. Let's go.
Uh-oh, what's happened there?
No, that's me. Don't worry. I'm checking we were streaming on my phone.
Right, so basically, ZK Sync got hit. They got hacked for $5 million. Now, generally, in the scheme of crypto, a $5 million hack is basically, it's almost nothing. We're kind of like, small potatoes. This one I found quite interesting because of how the hacker done it. So what they done was ZK Sync a long time ago, they had airdrop, and not all of the airdrop was claimed. So some of the tokens from the airdrop were not claimed, and they stay, I guess, unminted in an imaginary contract which doesn't exist until you put it into place. Now, the hacker somehow got hold of these admin keys, and he's managed to print a portion of the token. 111 million unclaimed ZK Sync tokens worth 5 million. Now, the interesting part, which has just happened literally in the last hour, was that ZK Sync have put out a message. They've sent a message out to the hacker saying that in the spirit of safe harbor, they're prepared to offer a 10% bounty for their cooperation if they return 90% of the funds involved. So what ZK Sync are saying is, if you give us back 90%,
You can keep saying.
we'll call it no harm, no foul. So you can keep 500,000 if you give us back 4.5 million. They've given an address, this, that, and the other. The return window is available for 72 hours from the time of this publication message on Ethereum. So yeah, that was really the long and the short of it. ZK Sync hacked. It's a chain which I'm not sure it's got that much actual activity on it. It's one of these almost what do we call them? VC chains.
Yeah.
Good technology. Unfortunately, they left the admin keys out there. They probably should have burned the admin keys when they realised that the airdrop timer had expired, but they haven't. I don't think they are doing anything else to try to mitigate the hack. I think they've just pretty much taken the hit. Yeah, and they've been investigating it since it happened, but there's not really much to say. It's open and shut. They should have been safer. They should have held their keys safer, and yeah, that is the story.
It just proves even the big boys can be hacked.
Yeah, because these admin keys, it's a social engineering hack. So somehow these admin keys have, or someone's got access to the system that's got the admin keys on, and they've done it. The interesting, or slightly worrying thing is, you'd expect anybody who did have those admin keys to have them air gapped. You'd expect them to be on a machine which doesn't touch the internet.
Yeah.
But here we are. I guess everybody makes mistakes, and yeah, ZK Sync were
They
the
made one.
latest. Yeah, they were the latest victims.
Luckily, it wasn't a large exploit.
No, but and who knows if they'd have pulled this off before the airdrop, might have been a different story altogether.
Yeah.
Might have been a different story altogether.
Right, rolling into topic 2. Bitcoin back above 87K. Is the bull market officially back? Now, what I think is quite interesting about it is, obviously today markets have reopened again in the US, and we have seen a 2% sell-off in the S&P. Whereas, so on my screen at the moment, S&P is currently down. Okay, 3% now. and crypto or Bitcoin specifically is up on the day 1.89%. I think it's quite a good sign in all honesty. Considering the S&P is down 3%. I mean, could it be that that Bitcoin's already priced in this further sell-off, or is it lagging? What are your views on that? Do you reckon we're lagging
When
into
did
a
we?
dump later
So
this week, or
I'm wondering, did we? This it doesn't usually happen like this. Normally, if Bitcoin outperforms the stock market, it's time to go. But I am always bullish, so take that with a pinch of salt. I'm looking and I'm thinking, yeah, we didn't really get a major dump over the weekend, so
no?
I don't think we're lagging. I think
No, I
maybe
mean
we're
macro's pointing to some sort of dip. Now, I think the bottom is most likely in when we sort of spiked to, was it 64 and above? But
yeah.
I think the low is in. Could we have another couple of percent? Yeah, sure. But I think we should be on our way to 100k, if not more, over this next few weeks to month, effectively. And I'll quickly just jump in. I mean, this kind of ties in with our third topic, which is the macro. So I want to share this report with you guys. Tell me when you can see that.
Yeah, I can see it. I
Right,
can see
so this is a chart of the DXY in the turquoise blue, and then the Y. So DXY in the turquoise blue is DXY today, and then the white line is DXY in August 2016 to January 2018.
what does the XY mean?
So DXY is the dollar index. So that is how we view the dollar. So if most people want to look at the dollar, they go to trading view, and they will type in DXY and it comes up with this chart here. Now, if you guys watch me on my free Telegram, you'll know every week I do a market update and we talk about the DXY and what it's made out of. I believe the three biggest currencies that make up the DXY are the dollar, the euro, and the yen. Also includes Swiss francs, pounds, and some other stuff. But the main weightings are euro, dollar, and Japanese yen. So that is how you measure the strength of the dollar effectively. Now, typically when the DXY goes down, other currencies will go up against it in strength because it's majority dollar weighted. And you would have seen that as well if you look at other FX charts this week, i.e. pound dollar, Swiss franc dollar, euro dollar. All of them, they have been going up in recent weeks to months, obviously because the DXY and dollar has been losing in weakness. So this is just a relay basically of what happened during the 2016 to 18 and why, and what is happening now. So what is the other coincidence in 2016 to 18 is when Donald Trump last went into office. And it's what we saw the first quarter per se, the first 3 months of him being in charge, dollar was mega strong, and then it got sold off massively. And that's what we've seen now, effectively. So Q4 last year, dollar was really strong, which is what we saw. And since then, it's completely shut the bed. And quite frankly, the quicker this shits the bed, the more reflexive crypto and risk assets will be to the upside a bit later on because there's a slight lag between them, but they do work inversely. So if dollar's down, risk assets should be ripping up. Second chart I would like to show you Bitcoin versus the DXY with a 2-week percentage change Z score. So effectively, what is this is showing us is Bitcoin in white. Then we have the DXY, which is this turquoise bar down here. And when it goes to 3 standard deviations oversold, which is these purple lines going down. So the 3 standard deviations is this blue turquoise line at the bottom. Now, every time historically we have hit this is where these purple lines show in the chart. And now you can see, if you have a slightly longer outlook, being probably 6 months to a minimum, in 6 months' time from when these hit, where does price action typically go? Massively to the upside in each and every scenario in history. Now, obviously, is history going to say the future is exactly the same? No. But the old saying is history never repeats, but it often rhymes. So going forward, if history is to continue to repeat itself or even rhyme, I would expect price to go continually higher from where we are now. Chart 3 is Bitcoin 3-month over 3-month versus GMI. So that is Global Macro Investor Financial Conditions Index. And as you can see, I don't know what the Financial Conditions Index is made up of, unfortunately, but it is a forward-looking indicator. Now, when I got this chart, when I got an old version of this chart back towards the end of Q4 2024, it did show financial conditions tighten quickly. And that is why we've had such an aggressive sell-off from that 1010 peak all the way down to, what was it, 78k, something like that. But what this chart is showing us now is that we should be going up again. Financial conditions have screamed up in the last month or two. Obviously, as I just said a minute ago, they are a forward-looking indicator. So looking forward into the future, if Bitcoin is to continue to follow this like it has done, we should be ripping to the upside in the not too distant future. Then 21, what's this one? So this is the total 3-month net liquidity flow. You've got the Fed in turquoise, People's Bank of China in pink, the Bank of Japan in green, the European Central Bank in purple, and the Bank of England in, I don't know what that is, like a little lilac colour there. And you can see we have just started to tick up, which is obviously, you might go, oh, well, it's nothing like this, what happened in 2020. No, not yet, but it starts with these smaller things. And this is basically what we want to see. We want to see us start going positive on this chart, effectively, in the total 3-month net liquidity flow. Because this starts expanding, that's basically money coming into the system. What will risk assets do? Start getting all excited and start going up. Next chart. Why are all of these are not the ones I wanted to show. It's this one. This is the one. Yeah, 26. So this is global M2 with Bitcoin. So this is the chart everyone's been watching, and we said that when we were looking at this global M2, it suggests that Bitcoin would come down to around 70k, whatever it was. Bitcoin hasn't done that. It's come down to 78, so it's held stronger than I think everyone's believed. And we are now in what they have classed the bottoming zone. So as far as I'm aware, and as far as I think as Real Vision are aware, and as I've said many a times, I think the Bitcoin bottom is in. Could we go back down for another quick 6-7k? Yeah, sure. But looking forward here, this is suggesting that Bitcoin is way north of 120k within, say, 2 to 3 months' time, if that. And we will look at that on our own charts in a minute on TradingView. 31. So this is global M2 versus the Nasdaq. And just to read this, because it gives you a bit of context, to start, take a look at the extent to which tech stocks have completely undershot global M2. We're calling this the excess fear gap, a dislocation that's opened up since the tariff headlines hit. Now, liquidity isn't everything, but as we showed earlier, in total liquidity index, which combines global M2 and central bank net liquidity, explains around 95% of the variability in equity prices, and it's been rising. So when you frame that against everything else we've laid out here, the easing in financial conditions and positioning data and sentiment washout, we think this is a clear overreaction. In our view, it's going to take just a silver sliver of good news to trigger a sharp reversal. And you can see here that obviously, a bit like Bitcoin and M2, Nasdaq and M2 was quite similar, and as they just suggested, they've seen a massive overshot in people's reactions effectively. And I think risk assets like the Nasdaq and the S&P will reprice higher as a result of this overshoot to the downside effectively. And then finally, this chart here. So again, this is Bitcoin versus Bitcoin 14-day RSI. Again, when the RSI has hit these oversold areas marked in purple, you can see every time this has triggered since the bear market of 22, which has been 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times, okay, and the last 3 times since the prior 2, they have been historically, obviously, like I said earlier, not to say that history is going to be exactly the same going forward, but they have been very good indicators that price should reprice higher going forwards. So then to go back into my charts to show you guys how you can do it, if you guys come to a Bitcoin chart, you can overlay your own global liquidity index onto it, this one here, and you will see if you then go into a daily. Just give it a second to load up. Yep, it is loading. I can only apologise. Because I was actually looking at this morning compared to some of the other stuff, and it was suggesting that we are probably around that 140k by, I think, July, something like that, July the 5th, I think it was. So that is quite a swift move pretty quickly from current price. Come on, TradingView, you know you want to. Come on. Well, there we go.
What are we at now? Just shy of 87 right now.
Yeah, 86k. So this is, I've somehow managed to get rid of it. So where's it gone now? What's going on?
It looks like it's going behind the...
Yeah, it's on the RSI now. Right, okay. There we go. Right. So for context, if you guys get your own liquidity chart, what you want to do is basically have it lined up since BlackRock have plugged in, which was, I believe, back here, Q1 2024. So that is where BlackRock plugged in their system, and that is why we've kind of been tightly correlated at the moment to Bitcoin. So if I was to bring that down to around there, give or take, so bear in mind there'll be a bit of a difference. You can see this kind of now the top where Bitcoin peaked at like 110-ish, and since then we dropped off. Obviously, this was indicating that we come down to lower 60s. We haven't done. We've undershot that and retested that prior all-time high from 2021 and in the summer of 2024. Now, what this is showing to the future, as I just said, it is saying that 140k we should be at around by early July, similar to that. Could we be wrong by a couple of weeks to a month? Yeah, sure. But what is this showing us? If this correlation is to continue, upside. Okay, and what I said before, what was that if we on this global liquidity index, I said call me crazy for doing TA on it, but I said what we want to see is substantially new highs in this, and what we've seen is after a short pullback is substantially new highs, which is what we want to see for risk assets, because if global liquidity isn't expanding, our bags won't expand effectively. So global liquidity going higher is great. And you can see obviously that with Bitcoin, it's suggesting around about 160, give or take. Obviously, this could be wrong because I could drag that all the way up here and say, oh my God, it's going to be at 320 in July. But it's not. The tighter correlation, you'll probably be around, I guesstimate, the 130 to be safe to 150k Bitcoin by around July, second week of July, something like that, give or take. But overall, I think the macro is looking pretty good. And I've been kind of bullish / bearish this whole time. In the shorter term, being bearish, but I have been a major bull probably since we've started Crypto Waffle, and it hasn't changed since. And it won't change until we start to see stuff starting to change in macro landscape, because I mean, we've now got the Fed pretty much ending QT. Their next step is to fully end QT. Then after QT ends, Jerome Powell will get funny with his money, start printing some more, getting those money printers on. And then that's the next step, QE. We know China have been doing mass QE. ECB is QE and has been growing as well. You can see that looking at the ECB M2 on TradingView. So if everyone's printing money, what happens to risk assets? They go a hell of a lot higher. So I don't know what your takes are on any of those charts at all, Crypto C.
I think we had said H2 was going to be good. Everybody was looking towards the second half of the year.
Yeah.
what seems to be the theme of this whole cycle seems to be front running. Seems that every time you think something's going to happen, the common sense says it's going to be at such and such a date, and then it ends up happening 2 months before. Like we hit our all-time highs well early. We did say it was probably because the ETFs, but we still hit them well early. We hit 100K a bit early. Like
Yeah.
we was usually expecting that 2025 would be the year that we would see the rise after the halving, but it happened almost immediately. Or in fact, almost before the halving, we started to really see some gains. So I'm also Captain Permable. There's a few things that I think are lining up. We was talking earlier and we was looking at the Doge chart, which we're going to have to show. Going to have to show today as well. Have to show this chart, and I think with all those things lining up, it is starting to look now finally like it's go time, because today the stock market's down some 2% already and Bitcoin is up. So we're seeing that Bitcoin is just raring to go. So if the stock market goes, I think Bitcoin is just gonna
Yeah.
gonna go
I mean, because
flying.
we got to remember as well, like even if you go even deeper into the risk asset curve and you start looking at some of the smaller fart coins of the world and SPX, is they bottomed back in March. Like they bottomed ages ago. I don't think they're going back again, and they will be the first indicator to the upside as well when stuff tops.
Yeah.
Like when they start topping, I mean, historically it's been they're the last thing to run, but because I think this cycle has been very meme dominated, I think they could be one of the first to top. I think that would be a massive indicator for people.
I think this cycle, yeah. I think the difference is that previously it was Bitcoin, then Altseason. I feel like now it's kind of like risk on. It still will be Bitcoin, but I feel like the risk assets or the riskier cryptos, which are the memes, will switch on before the utility coins and
Yeah,
AI and all the other stuff. I was just reading a on another topic, kind of almost, a news report where Donald Trump has called Jerome Powell a major loser. He says he says he says there can be a slowing of the economy. He says the economy can, well, this is his exact words actually. There can be a slowing of the economy unless Mr. Too Late, a major loser, lowers interest rates now. And I mean
that does not
the
surprise me.
right. So the fact now that Jerome Powell is now becoming the scapegoat for the angry crypto mob, which was previously Gary Gensler, it's probably going to become Jerome Powell if he's not care. I don't think Jerome Powell will really care, to be honest with you. He doesn't strike me as that sort of guy.
Yeah,
But it just goes to show that America are screaming for a more risk friendly environment. They're screaming for it.
yeah,
Will he get his way?
I think he
Probably.
will.
Yeah, probably. And at what detriment to the US economy? Well, who knows? Who knows?
Yeah.
But yeah,
So
that's been.
do you think, because I know what's coming up now is the historic sell in May, walk away. That'll be the next major headlines in the crypto world on X. It'll be sell in May, walk away, come back again towards the end of the month. Do you think that's going to be the standard? Because even if I look back at the Bitcoin chart and we look at May 23, I mean, we sold off, but we very quickly, after May, kind of bottomed, then started ripping from around that 24K. And then by May 24, we were back up at 70 odd K. So do you think that's going to be a narrative again?
I think there's too much FOMO in the air. I think everybody is terrified of missing out on this blow off top. Everyone's terrified. I know I feel like that. I feel like if I'm not positioned for risk and it goes, I don't want to miss it. And I think
Yeah,
that's how a lot of people are feeling. Probably the same in the stock market as well. Because although people like to buy green candles, everybody knows that when there's been a lot of red, like you make a lot of money on recovery. So I think everybody's quietly waiting for the narrative to change and for sentiment to shift, so they can put their chips back on the table and lay bets. I don't think we're any different. I don't know about you, but yeah, for me, I think it's almost time to turn the risk on a little bit, I think.
Yeah. I mean, I've been risk on the whole time, so I can't really say I've been risk off. But yeah, I think the macro stars are starting to align. Downside is capped in my eyes, and the risk here is not being in. So
Yeah.
yeah, I do think it's time to maybe switch your risk on again. And I think it's the same for all risk assets. So when like we say risk assets, we're talking stocks as well. It's not just crypto. We could be talking individual stocks, mainly like QQQ stuff. So Tesla, uh, big tech companies like that. But shall we move into our trades? Feel that?
No, show us
No.
the Doge chart.
Oh right. So yeah. So before we go into them,
Just
I
a
would
little bit
like
of
to.
background. Whilst you're looking for the Doge chart, I will tell the audience, the viewers at home, the reasons why I'm screaming at you to show this Doge chart. We was talking earlier on today for a couple of hours, and we've always said that Doge likes to rip before the rest of the market. Doge normally signifies Altseason. Doge rips off, everything else rips off. And you came and you showed me that not only does it rip, but it has these two downward
Yeah.
steps, and then on the last one, off it goes.
Yeah. So historically, this is the Doge chart. So if anyone goes to TradingView and you stick the Doge chart onto a monthly time frame, so now monthly time frame is each candle represents a whole month of trading. So what you can see, and this is going back all the way to 2014. So even in the 2014, 15, 16 bear market, we had these 1, 2, 3 triangles form before an explosive moves. We saw the same thing happen in the bear market of 18, 19, and 20. We had 1, 2, 3 triangles, boom. Where are we now? We've had 1, we've had 2, and I believe we are now in our 3rd. So once this decides to go, it will go very quickly, very fast. Now you can historically see that Doge's moves normally happen within a 6-month window, and I'm talking massive percentages. Like 2020, obviously that's a bit. We can't really rely on that again because we saw obscene money printing in the fastest amount of time possible. But Doge did rip. What's that? 14,000% pretty much within a space of 120 days. And then back in 2017, Doge went and did a 5,000% move in 275 days. Obviously, bear in mind here, it did have a 83% drawdown in the middle, so it wasn't an easy hold. But this, I believe, we are at the 3rd triangle, waiting to explode higher, and my targets go up to all the way around $4.20, which from current price would be an approximate 2,500% move. Assume I'm a complete monkey and I am wrong by 50%. So that would put us at approximately 1,200% move.
Yeah.
What did I say? 2,500 to 1,200. So probably $2.
It's still a little over a 10x from
Yeah,
where we are, which is, I guess, a 5x if you bought the top. But
definitely.
it's been a difficult hold. But that Doge chart, along with the fact that we're coming up to H2, along with the fact that we've had a brutal 4 months. I was saying yesterday that since Christmas to now has probably been the most difficult time I've had in crypto. I don't think it's been, I say difficult downwards, like difficult price wise.
Yeah,
I don't think we've been through a worse bloodbath. Not just because of how far it's dropped, but because of what we were expecting. So we were expecting that we're off to the races. At the start of the year, I was saying, oh yeah, 110 plus at least next week. And we got nothing. We got pain and
yeah,
despair as we pulled back. You had already said to be fair to you, that you could see us doing one more trip to 75. You hoped that we didn't see it, but we did. I guess the
I hope that we did see it, but obviously it would be nice not to see it, just so I could
yes,
add in.
yeah.
And
You
that
wanted to
is
see it.
exactly what I've done.
Yeah, exactly. And you said that you wanted to see it for it to validate your thesis, and it did.
Yeah, technical
So,
levels, it made complete sense for us to revisit. Yes, it's not the nicest path, but quite often the path to the nicest things is never easy and has some horrible steps along the way, and that is pretty much what we saw. But yeah, that the Doge chart will move, but then again, as I just showed you in 2014-15, it had a drawdown of 83% in the midst of that 2,500% move. So yes, Doge could pull a 10x, but then it could fall flat on its face 80% and still do another 10x afterwards.
yeah,
So it's not exactly an easy hold, like
yeah.
at all. It's very difficult.
Exciting times. Right, can I show one thing quickly
Yes,
before we go on?
go for it.
It is my beloved AI16Z, and they have finally. Let
Is it
me.
some sort of update?
Yeah, kinda. So they have finally released. Oh, there's two things actually. I'm going to show the new Crypto Waffle website. But they had finally released Auto.Fun, which
Okay.
was their attempt at a Pump.Fun
Yeah.
style situation where you can launch tokens, but the tokens will be geared towards AI agents, obviously because it's AI16Z. Now, I don't know if you'd class it as a good thing or a bad thing, but the app went up. People started to use it. Everyone was having a great time. And then the app went down. So here we are. So luckily, well, not luckily, but sometimes it's a good thing because it shows that the demand is serious. That you release something. I think people have been dying to see it. They've released it and people have gone onto it and started to use it. It hasn't even managed to pick up momentum before it's fallen over. Then there has been a tweet from older Shaw where he has said that we're down for maintenance. So
Yeah.
they're going to add some big features and fixes and migrate the database. So I'm assuming too many people done too much. The database they had was probably not sufficient and it's fallen over. But I do think with the time as we are, where we are in the cycle, I do think that does make AI16Z at 13 cents
Yeah, we're still in that buy box of mine.
worth a look. Yeah.
That buy box ranges from around 10.5 cents to 16. So I think anyone there is a anywhere in there is a good move. If we break below that 10, I'd be wary because we could definitely go to 4.
Well, this is the platform launching. So here's the little run up by about 10, almost 20%. And then here it is pausing and this drop
Yeah.
down there. The interesting thing is, I'm not sure because I didn't get a chance to use it. I believe that they're going to be using the AI16Z as the native token of the platform.
All
So
right.
there will
Okay.
be a percentage of the liquidity pool being in AI16Z, which is always the exciting part to me about
Yeah.
the launching of that platform. So AI16Z's Auto.Fun is now live, kinda. So keep an eye out for it, I guess.
Perfect.
And then the website. Should we do the website before our predictions?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
let's
Yeah.
go
Let's
for the
go.
website. So we now have our own website, Crypto Waffle, where finance meets crypto. So the reason why we've launched the website is to help people to get to know the brand, to get to know us, to get to see the episodes, and to introduce them to our Telegram group. So we have two Telegram groups. We have the free Telegram group where we do give people loads of information and we hang out and we share alpha, we kick knowledge, we exchange
Yeah.
ideas, and
Yeah.
it's
The
kind of
free
like,
telegrams mainly for me and Crypto C to get across information that we feel is valuable to you guys. It's unfortunately you guys can't chat to each other or us in that, but it is just full of free content that we use, market reports that we look at, videos we may watch, videos I myself post, and that we will post together in, and then obviously the paid one is where you guys can speak to us, can speak to other VIP members, and can discuss all the topics that we talk about on a day-to-day basis effectively.
I do think we need to put your face here.
Yeah, yeah, we do.
I do think we need to put your face here. I think faces sell papers, so I do think that. So yeah, you can get to watch past episodes and join our Telegram community. And there's a small part for advertisers if you want to advertise with us. We haven't actually started doing adverts yet, but
No.
you never know. It's there. So yeah, so now we've got a website, CryptoWaffle.Fun. We're going to add more to it as weeks go on. I don't know what other stuff we might add to it. Maybe tutorials or competitions, giveaways. I don't know.
Yeah,
We'll
I
see.
think we talked about doing some sort of portfolio tracker as well. So we will have a
Yes.
crypto waffle portfolio that you
Yes.
guys can follow along with yourselves, and you will see how we make changes if and when we do within that, and we'll probably state reasons to why we make those changes if and when we do it as well. So you won't log on one day and the portfolio will be something completely different. Well, without us basically saying a reason why, we
Yeah.
will give full explanations to why.
So what we'll probably do is a portfolio tracker, and alongside it, we'll have like a blog.
Yeah.
The portfolio will be something similar to what we're doing with our 100 to 100,000 challenge, something similar
Yeah,
to that.
definitely.
Start off small, have a few assets, expand the assets, maybe do DeFi with them,
Yeah,
loads of different things. And as
we'll do all the dangerous stuff for you guys to watch and follow along with, and you guys can decide whether it's for you or not.
yeah, we could even do that. We could even have like maybe a bunch of different assets that we considering buying, and let the community choose which ones we should buy.
Yeah, we can put a poll into the Telegram, and the
Mm.
Telegram community can choose which ones we do.
Yeah, that sounds like fun. So yeah, so that's the website,
Yeah.
and that's the Telegram group. So yeah, keep an eye out for that.
So now we will move on to predictions for last week. Now, can I first of all say congratulations, Crypto C, for absolutely nailing the OM trade that we put on, or that you put on, should I say?
Yeah,
Because you did absolutely nail that one.
we hit
And
that in almost 24 hours.
yeah, you pretty much hit the nail on the head there. Bitcoin, unfortunately, we're both wrong this week, as seen via my chart. I think we're a week early. And obviously, from what I said earlier today, macro is lining up in the longer term, but in the shorter term, macro is still suggesting a slight pullback. But then again, as we said at the start, Bitcoin's still up on the day. And then, as you can see, if I go to my watch list, S&P and Nasdaq are down over 3%. So I think that tells you something on a day that Bitcoin is currently holding up at 87k, around up 2% on the day. So unfortunately, this week we're both wrong on that. Ton, again, I think we got direction generally correct. We were to the downside ever so slightly because the last Monday was when my cursor is now. So we haven't gone down much, but direction was right. Again, no correct answers. Same with Doge, kind of just chopped since we last come on air. And again, both two wrong. Correct
Doge is
answers.
currently a stable coin. Doge is.
Yeah.
It's currently.
Although SPX, I would say we have been correct. So
Yeah,
we
you got
were right up at that head and shoulders neckline break. And if you guys watch my the free ones, which is now the free Crypto Waffle Telegram, I put in weekly updates, and I put a trade idea in for SPX. And obviously, I said that trade idea was on the anticipation that we actually break the neckline and retest, and we didn't do that. So the trade wouldn't have triggered. And I'm going to give that to both of us there because we have been pretty much correct. I mean, you were 2 cents out. And I'm gutted I didn't put this on as my trade because I would have nailed that one
Yeah.
at the resistance. And then finally, the one that saved us this week has hit both of our targets. It hit my conservative target and then literally bang on. It only went a tad higher actually than where you predicted Crypto C, as you can see. I mean, where's the Monday there? Monday's here, isn't it?
Yeah, we were down, but we were
You
back.
it literally tagged, like it went to the high of 99.98 cents. So, but hit your take profit and come straight back down again.
Straight back. Just
And that's all it's done since.
high five and back down you go. And
What was your take profit?
the take profit was at 85.
Yeah,
I
think that was a great call there to be a bit conservative. I'll take profit and stick it just below.
Yeah. Interestingly, now, after having watched an interview with the guy, I feel like now there is a new phenomenon of a market maker coin where these market makers are doing whatever shenanigans they do to slowly pump the price. And I think
of OM?
Yeah, and I think that's what got OM to be
Right.
as big as it was market cap wise. Now it's fallen. I don't think they're going to have these close ties with these market makers.
So it won't go as high as it did.
I think it could well just be a slow bleed until they decide to get market makers.
Rug it. Yeah.
Or get market makers. I think they eventually they have to bite the bullet and go back to the same guys that have ripped them off.
Yeah, I mean, from a technical level, you can see here we're just on a big area of support, effectively.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a very harsh drop, but yeah, technicals, you're just on a big area of support that took you years to build.
Yeah. Now, you see, if you go back, do they now slide down to the all-time lows over time? Do they slide all the way back down there? Or do they get market makers back?
I don't know. I'd be inclined to say if you lose that 33 cents bottom, yeah, you could definitely be in for runs down at 5 cents or so, 10 cents.
Yeah, you're in a lot of trouble. And I don't know how much actual on-chain activity they have. I think it's probably very little.
It's still probably a no touch in my book. But like I say, the risk to reward is there to buy it. Like, I know last week I was saying I'd definitely stick a couple $100 in, and I'm still inclined to say that because again, if they can land those partnerships again, would you say it's about 16x to all-time highs? Yeah, 16x. So to me, risk to reward's there for a couple $100, but only a couple $100. I'm not talking a lot of money here. So this week, where do you think Bitcoin will go? Like I said earlier, I'm going to say we were a tad early. I think we do see a sell-off this week. It's just how low do we go? And I'm going to be really conservative and very boring and have to go for 82.
You think we go back to retest the trend line, do you?
Yeah, 82. I mean, we've had a breakout. We have a retest. It's always good to get a retest. I'd like to see a bit more of a breakout here before the retest. But it is a Monday. It's a bank holiday. Markets are still slow. I think the market's general direction will probably pick up from the mid to later stages of this week.
I'm going to check the ETF inflows. I'll see if they're in for today. No, can't see today's. I guess it's not there because there's only one.
No, I think they come out about 11 o'clock at night.
Yeah, they won't come out until the Americans have closed, will they?
Yeah. Yeah, this is the first week we've only nailed 2 assets.
Yeah.
Other weeks we've kind of been on that 4 to 5 out of 5, 3 out of 5.
Yeah.
This is the first week in a while that we've only nailed 2. But thankfully one of them was the trade.
Yeah, well, I don't know how well. We'll look at the trades in a minute, but I think both the trades are okay. The Doge one hasn't massively moved against you. I think it's
Yeah, it's just sideways chop.
just sideways chopped. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. So, do we go back and test the trend line?
We've been to a high of 88.4 today.
Do we go back and test the trend line? That's the question. Oh gosh.
In a
Yeah.
week's time.
Yeah.
Because if I was to be bullish, I'd be saying like 90k,
94. Yeah.
91, something like that. 90, maybe 92.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
but short term's not my specialist stuff, so
Well,
I'm
it's
just guessing.
isn't it? It's a lottery. This is like the
Yeah,
equivalent of penalty kicks.
yeah,
I'm going to go bullish. I think
yeah.
I think we've got momentum.
Where do you think we're going?
92.
92. Yeah, I think that's a very good choice, sir.
Yeah, well, 92.
There it is. 92. Ton. Are we changing? Do you want to swap this up?
Yeah, should we do Solana?
Yeah, we can do salt.
We didn't do Sol last week, did we?
No, we did ton.
Yeah.
So Solana this week, where do you think we are going? Currently at $134.
I think we're going to do well.
I'm going to sit on my bearish bias and say 120k. 120k? $120. $120k would be nice.
That would be all right. That would be all right. I think even with the tiny amount of Solana I hold, I'd be happy with that.
Yeah.
Right, okay, I'm going to go with... Yeah, I'm going to go with 150.
150,
Too
yeah.
small, isn't it? I think that's too small. Nah,
No, I think
150.
that's all right. 135 is still a decent move.
Yeah.
Doge, I would like to keep in, if that's all right.
I dare you to not be bullish.
I'm gonna have to be bearish. If I'm sticking with bearish for the others, I can't not. I want to be bullish, and I really do, because obviously, look, you can see this trend line here. I mean, this is the triangle filling out, the third triangle. I'm gonna have to stick with my target for last week, and I'm gonna stay at 14.3.
Okay. On your head be it, sir. I'm going to say 22.
Ooh.
Massive moves.
All the way back up here. I
I
love
always
that.
go overboard, don't I? Do you know what? Let me just behave for once. Let me just behave. Let me say 20. Let me say 20.
20k.
Yeah,
20 cents.
Let me go 20 cents, yeah. Because I always go overboard and then I get the direction right, but I don't get the amount right. I need to not be Captain Megaball. I need to not be Captain Megaball.
Right, do we want to keep SPX?
Do we want to keep SPX? SPX is another good one, you know.
I think we do SPX or fart. Unless you get rid of OM and then we have farting.
Oh, we definitely get rid of OM because that's done now. That whole trade was situational, weren't
So
it?
do we do SPX and fart?
So
we have the three memes.
That's too many memes. I want to do a utility. Let's do fart and... Or should we do SPX? Choose one of SPX or fart. You can choose one.
Fart. We'll do fart.
Okay.
And then which utility would you like?
Then for utilities, I'm going to pick Hyperliquid.
Yes, I like that. I like that. Right. Well, first of all, Fart. I'm going to have to go against myself here and be bullish just because Fart has basically been the contrarian and has been bullish every time everything else has been bearish. So I'm going to say Fart actually breaks out of what could be classed as this bull flag here. And the target for that bull flag is approximately, where are we? We break out $1.23. So I'm going to say $1.
Where's the target on that head and shoulders?
Actually, I'm going to say $1.10, $1.10.
Where's the target on that head and shoulders that you've drawn in there?
$2.
No, we're not going there.
The head and shoulders has broken, which is what we
Yeah.
want. What I'd like to see now is a retest of the necklines. I'd like to see price action come back into that 60 to 65 cents range. And that's basically where you'd bid for that run to 2. But that's not always a given, which is why I'm inclined to say that this will keep going.
Yeah.
And we won't get another retest below.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm with you. What's that?
I'm saying $1.10.
I was going to say $1.20.
Yeah, I think that's good.
I'll say $1.20 just because I have to be,
Yep, I have to go against myself there, unfortunately. And then finally, hype. So there's two things I'm seeing. I think there's an argument to say we've had a head and shoulders, but I don't think the right shoulder was big enough. That's it there. That could be our left. That would be our head. The other thing we've got going on is this kind of wedge that we had, and then we've broken above. Target for that wedge actually takes us up to about 31. Obviously, over the coming weeks to months, and then on a bigger time frame, if you stick this on the week, it actually just looks like a range deviation. This just looks like a fake out. What do we normally see after a fake out? An extended move to the upside. So I know I'm bearish everything else. Oh, it's so hard. Next week, I mean, it's such a short time frame.
The chart is telling you it's going up, isn't it?
Yeah.
The problem is the Bitcoin range, and you can't bet against the king.
I'm going to say $20.
So you think hype will be another contrarian, do you?
Yeah, I've got 2 contrarian bets this week, Fart and hype.
Okay.
Because I'm also thinking, okay, if I want to take a long this week rather than a short, I need to have options.
I'm gonna say 14.
You gone bearish?
Yeah, why not?
Okay.
Because I don't have any contrarians, so why not have this one? Should have had fart if I had one actually.
Yeah.
But hype, just in case Bitcoin drags everything down, at least I'll get 1 out of 5 because I don't want to get 0.
Right, so that is the predictions. Now into the trades from last week. How did we get on? Are we back up above our starting figure yet?
I hope so. What am I looking
I would
for?
like to think so. If yours come in, because if I remember correctly, your upside was 200%. Your take profit.
But the problem was it was a small principle, weren't it? Because we had,
And mine hasn't moved. Mine should be sideways, if not even, effectively.
all right, let's connect this wallet. We'll get with MetaMask. Oh, 237. That can't be right. Okay, where are we?
Well, I'm in profit. Quick, get out.
7%.
Take it.
Right, let's
Get
close.
it. Get it going.
Close.
Get it going.
Market.
Wait, another week of both of us in profit.
Okay, right, yeah. So both in the green. Our balance 116. So we're up
Hey, we're
16%.
back positive.
Yeah, we're back. The boys are back. We're
Boys are
back,
back in
baby.
town.
We're back, baby. Right. So, what do you want to do for your right? We did say this before, and
We've
I've
got to
got
be sensible now.
yes. We should not do like 50% of um our
So
bag.
should we agree? I think maybe to risk 60% of our cash on a
Yes.
trade.
Yeah. I
Yeah, at
think
a
we should
time.
do. Yeah, I think we should do 50 or 60% until we reach $200. And then once we
Yeah,
reach $200, then we should take $100 of that and go and do DeFi things with it.
yeah. Okay.
So we're in
Yeah, I'm
all
happy with
sorts.
that. So 50%. Yeah.
Yeah,
So today we've got what 57.50 each
yeah.
to be playing with. Okay.
Well,
So
no, no, not each,
sorry,
altogether.
not each in
Yeah,
total.
yeah, yeah, altogether. We've got
So
like
26-ish dollars each.
yes.
Okay. Um, are you going to go long or short? Because now I'm thinking about this tactically. I think we should maybe have one long, one short.
No, we shouldn't because then we just hedge each other out and we get nowhere.
No, we don't. Because if we get what happened, like, do you know when we've had some that come up but then also come down?
Yeah, 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 yeah.
That's what
Yeah.
I'm thinking here.
Okay. Well, I've only got one short and I'm not confident in it.
What the
So I'm
hype?
oh yeah, I'm not confident in that. I've literally just said that for something to say. So I'm gonna go with my longs. I'm gonna go with my longs. I'm gonna.
As much as I want to be bearish, I think I'm going to have to go long with you. I just can't do short.
So what? So what do we long? Fartcoin. Fartcoin's capped in momentum at the moment.
It is. Not gonna lie though, the Doge chart on a 4 hour looks really good.
Yeah, yeah,
I think I might have
yeah.
to take a Doge long to your target.
Doge. Doge had me feeling a kind of way today. I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go for a Doge long, but I'm not gonna do
You're
it to my
taking Doge
target.
long, yeah?
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Okay.
yeah. All right. Actually, so we're just long on meme coins.
No, I'll long Sol.
Yes. Okay.
I'm happy to long Sol.
Which is kind of like a meme coin as well,
Yeah.
to be fair. Right, all right. Let's let you go first. So, oh, don't be silly.
So I'm happy to long Sol to 146
That's
with
boss.
a stop loss of 128.
That's tight.
Is that tight?
Yeah.
That's not very good, is it? No, I need to extend that. Ignore me. That's just being silly.
I think 128 is all right. I think 146 is all right. 128 I think is quite tight.
Mm. Extend the take profit to one. Would I say 146?
Yeah.
Knock it up to 148, and then downside 125.
Come to think of it, if we do go down and we do lose momentum,
Yeah, no, I need a tighter stop than that.
yeah, I think so.
Yeah, go to my original 128.
All right, let's do
I'll
128.
do 127.80 actually. I don't know
Just in case
why.
it kisses 128.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm happy with that.
All right, so I'll do 25%. Margin required 30. Is that right? Yeah, that is right. Okay, let's go. Okay, so we're long Solana. I'm
And
going
then
to
you're
go
going with what, the Doge long, yeah?
Doge, yeah.
Where are you long into, sir? 118, 18 cents should be big area of resistance.
Okay, let's do 18.
No, I'd be inclined to say I'd take profit slightly earlier at like 17.6.
No, we don't win anything by being cautious.
It is very true because you nailed last week. So
Yeah, we've got to let it all hang out. Right, okay, and my stop loss will be at 14.
yeah, I think 14's okay.
Okay.
Maybe 14.5 because the risk to reward there is not great. Yeah, I think that's a lot better.
Uh, yeah. Because if Doge goes, then it goes.
Yeah.
I don't know that. Do you know what? I don't know that it creeps up though. Well, let's
Does it
see.
just fly?
It might go sideways to up because I think a lot of people are thinking what we're thinking. Because this is the third time this has happened now with Doge.
Possibly.
So I think there'll be a lot of people trying to front run this Doge pump. And they might just tick it up, tick it up, tick it up until it gets that velocity. Right,
Yeah.
so what do I need to put as a percentage?
50%, isn't it?
35. There we go. 34. Because that's another $30. $30 margin. $30 margin. $30 margin.
Lovely
Okay.
stuff.
Shall I put it on?
Go for it.
I don't feel as confident as I did last week. Last week was a
Well, it couldn't
short.
have got much worse, wasn't it? It was a pretty easy trade if you think about it.
Yeah.
It's just that it was so uncertain.
Yeah, last week's was really, I thought, really easy. This one is a lot more difficult. Okay, so
Yeah.
we're long. We are long Doge and Sol.
Yeah. We are long Doge and Sol. Would we be able to stick the wallet address or the Hyperliquid address into the Crypto Waffle website so people can see? Is that a thing that's possible?
I don't know. I don't know.
Kind of like copy trading, no?
Yeah, what we'd want is like a portfolio type of button so that people can see this, right? I
Yeah.
wonder if there's a way to share this. I don't know. Leave it with me this week. I'm sure I can figure it out. It's got an API, so
We can just share the API wallet address, no?
I guess so.
And we'll stick our Crypto Waffle Hyperliquid referral address on the website on the referral page because that's what we do need.
Let's see. Sorry, say that again.
We need a referral page.
Referral page.
Yeah, so for all the sites like Hyperliquid that we use, we can put our referral address.
Oh,
And
okay.
if people sign up, we get a percentage of whatever it is on those things.
No, see, that's not our wallet. I thought that might be. That's not our wallet.
Oh,
So I guess this one can perform actions on our behalf, but can't withdraw. So that's not what we got. I don't know. I'll figure it out. I'm sure it's in the docs somewhere.
let's have a look. Okay, then. Well, until next time, guys. Enjoy the rest of your bank holiday weekend. If you're celebrating that wherever you are around the world, and we will see you next week.
We made it in under an hour, almost.
We did.
Good work. Good
Adios.
job.